Okay, we're going to just take a moment to just hold and hug ourselves with an embrace. Can we soften the embrace? And can we breathe into this touch? Maybe small, subtle, gentle rocks and twists. Maybe some sways from side to side. Allow the head to follow your spine. And bringing your lotus breath here. Taking your heart hold as you breathe here. And you soften the gaze. And as you breathe here, just a little moment to connect with yourself and to say thank you. And to say to yourself, I love you. Bringing the hands so that the palms face the ceiling. And just start to circle or notice the potential of your spine to draw some motions of a spiral. And we take this spiral a little bigger with each circular motion. Beautiful. And we start to shrink the spiral. Getting smaller each time we move around in this motion. Winding up the spiral till eventually the belly button is drawing this small, tiny spiral. Feeling the core connect with the spine. Allowing that to simmer and settle, rub the hands together as fast as you can. And covering the eyes. Taking hold of the thumb over the ears as you breathe here. Notice the expansion and release. And then drawing the fingers down the face, tapping the heart. And breathing into this space. Hands resting by the side. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale, hands, heart center. Taking gentle twists. And then as we move here, just allowing ourselves to take a deeper twist as you bring your right hand to the outer edge of your left thigh. And just noticing the room behind you or the space behind you. as you breathe. Bringing yourself back to your center and finding your deep twist on the other side. Notice your shoulders dropping down in the back as you breathe here. Softening. And bringing yourself back to center. Inhale, 2 hands float up high. And exhale, floating down. Rolling your shoulders up, back and down a few times here. Slowly allow the feet to reach forward as you find your staff pose. Taking an inhale to a side stretch and exhale. Inhale, reaching to the side, sit bones, reaching, and exhale. Inhale, deep reach to the side, and back to the middle, and the other side, and back to the middle. Allowing your first forward fold to swim as you draw back. Heart leads forward and roll up through the spine. Heaviness in your head. Folding the knee. Taking an embrace around the shin as you breathe here. Lengthen your spine. Switching sides. Just stepping one foot out, followed by the other. Lovely. Taking hold of the big toe with the peace fingers. Or if this is not available to you, taking a bend of the knee and taking the outside of your foot. Or if you feel like still you need to, you can take your hand to the calf. So just taking some hip openers here as you open and close. Finding different levels as you reach high with the hand and the foot and low. Sit bones planting, belly button drawing into the spine. Lovely. Taking hold of the foot, and as you're here, either resting the foot on the top of the thigh here as you allow the hip to open as you breathe here. Taking hold of the foot. If you feel ready to take a cradle, noticing your shoulders dropping down in the back and just breathing here for a moment. Settling as you lengthen through the spine. Taking your peace fingers back to the big toe or taking around the outer edge of the foot or the calf as you extend the leg away. Just finding a heel tap to the ground and lengthen. Heel tap to the ground and lengthen. Beautiful. Sitting tall. And kick through the heel, reaching the hand away. Crossing over the leg, heel to the outer edge of the hip. And just drawing that knee in towards the chest. Maybe waving the underneath leg, just to find some rotation in the hip. And settling. Allow the toes to fizzle and lengthen through the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Taking your head over to find your twist. Breathing here. Can we soften the jaw? Can we soften the gaze? And bringing yourself back to your center. Beautiful. Just taking a moment here. And then release the foot to take yourself, preparing for our head to knee. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, find your fold. And breathing here. Heavy head. Heart leads forward as you find your lengthening spine. Inhale deeply, exhale, find your fold. Option here is to take around the wrist and the foot as you breathe here. Slowly and gently uncurling as you bring yourself back, finding your hip opener here as you breathe. Maybe just butterfly wings. And stacking the knees together, feet together, bringing your hands to the sides as you find your window wipers. Driving the knees down to the ground. Beautiful, lovely. Taking the opposite stretch here as you breathe. Taking your fingers around the big toe, peace finger, and first index finger around the big toe, or taking your hand around the outer edge of the foot or the calf. Breathing here, kicking through, and just folding, tapping the heel lightly to the ground as you lengthen the spine. And breathing. Beautiful, kicking and lengthening as you reach the heart forward. And slowly taking your cradle. Finding the sit bones lengthening through the spine as you begin to take a gentle rock of the cradle. Lovely, breathing here. And just settling for a moment as you breathe. Taking the heel towards the opposite hip, drawing the knee to the chest. Finding your seat. And then taking your gaze round to the back as you find and notice the space around you. And breathing here. Taking yourself back out of the twist. And then bringing your foot to prepare you for your head to knee pose. As you allow the hip to externally rotate, inhale. Exhale, find your fold. Heavy head. Option here is to take hold of the wrist, settling down. Inhale, bringing your heart forward as you breathe, head in line with your spine. Noticing the cause and effect of your breath. Within the body. And then slowly drawing yourself back up to your seated position. Taking your bound angle. Find your forward fold here as you breathe. And just taking a few breaths here, heavy elbows, heavy arms, heavy head. And slowly drawing yourself back up to center. Stacking the knees together. This time drawing your feet together, taking both peace fingers and middle finger, first finger, around the big toes, lengthen the spine, staying on your sit bones, preventing yourself rolling back to the tailbone. Keep lifted here as you draw up your spine nice and long. Inhale and kick the legs away. Breathing here, heart forward. And then slowly taking that down. Taking yourself back to your bound side angle. Finding your forward fold, just like we did before, heavy head. And breathing. Taking your hands over to one side. And taking your hands to the other side. And bringing your hands back as you roll up through the spine, opening the heart as you plant the heels of your hands behind you close to the body, fingertips reaching away, and look to the sky. Breathing here for a moment. And then bringing yourself back up to center. Taking your feet hip width apart, bringing your fingertips towards the front of the mat, and just spreading as you begin to press into the feet and lift the hips. Slow lower down, lifting in the hips and lowering. Just taking a few for yourself here. Lift the hips and lower. One more. And lower. Lovely. Taking the foot out as far forward as it needs to be so that you can find this cross-legged figure 4 pose as you bring your heel to your sit bones. From here, we're just going to have a few gentle rocks and breathing. You can walk your hands in close to the chest if that feels right for you, stretching out the wrists as well as you breathe here. Going to allow the top foot to fall as we breathe here and back to center. Lovely. Stepping the front foot just a little bit more forward so that you can lift in your hips and pelvis. And slowly lower down. Beautiful. Taking it uncross here, taking your cross-legged position in your figure 4, bringing the hands a little bit closer to the body as you breathe here. And just gentle rocks. Lovely, allow the top foot to fall to the ground. And then bringing yourself back to your center. And back to your center, stepping your front foot slightly more forward. And then pressing your toes into the ground, lifting your hips, square hips. As you breathe here, slowly lower down. Beautiful. And release here as you breathe. Taking hold of each elbow joint and bowing your head towards the knees as you breathe here. Taking your legs out in front. Find your sit bones. Heart leads forward as you find your forward fold. Option to take around the wrist. And bringing yourself back here, heart leads forward and breathing. Taking your hand across one foot and bowing the head. And back to center. Taking the hand across the body and bowing the head. A deep breath here. And back to center. Slowly uncurl through the spine, head last thing to come up. As you breathe here, we're just going to finish in our bound angle pose. As you breathe here. Allow any sense of tension in your hips to just melt away. Staying there for a moment, I'm just going to go on the side so you can see me better. Bringing the feet together. Allow the knees to go one way and back to center, or the other way and back to center. Taking the knees a little bit wider as you allow the feet to fall. And breathing into the belly here. And the other side. And back to center. Left leg long, right knee into the chest. Taking your left leg across the body as you find your supine twist. Gaze the other direction. And back to center. Give the knee a squeeze into the body, bringing the nose towards the knee. And then slightly down, all the way, slowly down. Taking outer edge of the foot, knee towards the armpit as you breathe here. And slowly allow that foot to reach for the ground, bringing your feet underneath your knees, just about one of your own feet length distance apart from your heels to your buttocks, your sit bones. And then we're just going to find the bridge pose as we lift the hips. Inhale. Roll the shoulders open. Hips lifting, squeeze the glutes. Engage in the hamstrings. And then slowly floating down. Lengthening the right leg away, left leg into the body. Taking your supine twist. And breathing. And drawing yourself back to center. Elbowing into the ground. Giving your knee a squeeze into the body, nose to knee. And back down. Taking the outer edge of the foot, drawing the knee in towards the armpit. And kicking through the opposite heel as you breathe here. Lovely. And then drawing the knee back to the chest, giving it a squeeze into the body, bringing the other leg in to squeeze towards the body. Feet float down into the ground and just finding your savasana. Maybe shifting your hips from side to side. And then settling on your mat. As you're lying here, noticing your breath in this stillness, we're never fully still. And just breathing. Allowing any sense of tension to melt away. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Slowly bringing yourself over to one side. And then bringing yourself up to your comfortable seated position. Wow. Hands in lotus. Thank you everybody for joining me in our seated yoga practice. I wish you all a wonderful, restful moment here of peace as we sit to close the practice. The love and light in me honors the love and light in you. Take good care and namaste.